It's the 2 Minute Hacks Podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock That He. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Minute Hacks Podcast.
Top of the morning to you, my good people. Happy Thursday. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, man. It is your host with the most, Tony Mays, Lavelle Salter. We got another one planned for you today, man. A great one planned for you today. Actually, we're doing a part 2 of yesterday's topic of the danger of being emotionally unavailable. There's danger in being emotionally unavailable. And so I know yesterday we really kind of honed in on some of those dangers and how impactful it is uh, to the relationship when a person is just totally emotionally unavailable. And a lot of times, I think, especially in real young relationships, and when I say young relationships, I'm talking about even those when the individuals themselves are very young. I think it really causes an issue because they're still learning themselves, still growing, and with good morning. And when they're emotionally unavailable, sometimes they're just not even aware. They're not even cognizant of the fact that they're just emotionally unavailable for their partners or each other. And this was something that I mentioned on yesterday that I had to grow. Monica and I had to grow into because we got married so early. Um, you know, I was 23, Monica was 20. We was just really figuring ourselves out, finding ourselves and finding out who we truly were as individuals. And so we had to grow with each other. As Lavelle always say, we had to become one and becoming. And so over that period of time, we just got, to understand each other better, understand each other emotions, and understand, what we truly needed to be for each other and to each other. And so it took some time for us. And so in the beginning of a lot of relationships, especially with young folk, I can see this being an issue early on, but as they begin to learn each other, know each other, grow with each other, then that could turn into something very positive if they're cognizant or aware that that's happening. And so when you think about it, uh, being emotionally unavailable, man, it could totally wreck a relationship, and I think it has wrecked relationships. Um, Yeah, man. Let me do that, man. I jump straight into it, man. Y'all know my mind be working 100 miles an hour, man. Let me get my shouts out. So we got some graduations going on in December, man. College graduation. Shout out to my goddaughter Trinice Livingston, man, who will be graduating from Southern University. Man, she did it in the allotted time. She didn't go over, so she ain't cost the mama them more money. Or her poppy. So she getting on out of there, and she's gonna go and do her master's. So shout out to her, man. Also shout out to Afia Salter, man, graduating in December from the University in Memphis in the Fine Arts Department, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So shout out to Afia, man, graduating as well, man. Lil Lavelle ought to be pulling up the rear right behind her somewhere.
Yeah, you got 3 years.
Yeah. So shout out to them, man. I shout out this morning, man. Thank you, Monica, for reminding me of our shouts out. Appreciate that. Because my mind is somewhere on the other side of town. Yeah, your body's here with me. My mind is on the other side of town. Let's jump on in here, man. The dangers of being emotionally unavailable. Before I do that, let me play this video. Cause this video right here, man, again, and I'm not gonna play the whole video, just this part, cause this part really lends value to this entire post. I need y'all to have pics up tomorrow. So okay, I'll put some pics up of Phil and Trinique tomorrow. We'll do that and we'll reshout them out. Thank you.
She on it
to
this morning.
teach
Don't do too
the
much.
other Hollywood celebs how to defy the odds. You and Nicole have been together for more than 20 years.
Which is like 90 years in Hollywood.
Right.
terms.
You got the foundation that you mentioned. You've done projects together. You know, you have two beautiful kids. Like how do you get there?
You get there while you're getting there. What that means is that you can't skip any steps and you can never give up. If this is your person, right? If this is your person, and I know that she is my person 100%, and because she is my person and I'm her person, we grow together, we learn together, we hurt together, we fight together, we lose together, we win together, and we are in this by choice, right? We don't have to be together, we want to be together. And we do it, and every day is a new start.
Every day is a new start. So I like to play that video. I played that video because I think it lends value to this. When he said, "That's my person," I unequivocally, without a shadow of doubt, that's my person. And because she's my person, I'm gonna do what I have to do. We're gonna look. We're gonna ride together. We're gonna die together. We're gonna live together, love together, grow together, hurt together, win together, lose together. We're gonna be together. We're gonna do it together. However we do it. And I think when that happens, you know, that's really starting to be, emotionally available for a person. Because when you're not, there are some dangers. Uh, there are some signs. But I think that even if you are emotionally unavailable, you can learn how to reconnect. If you were emotionally available, then you became emotionally unavailable, you can reconnect. So there are some ways to reconnect. And I think we're gonna probably touch more on that today. So and I'm gonna go through these first slides real quick because we already kind of went through these. But the first one when you are emotionally unavailable, it limits deep, meaningful relationship. It limits it. You can have a relationship, but if you're emotionally unavailable, it won't be deep or meaningful. You know, Emotional walls prevent true intimacy and trust. People feel shut out even if they like you. Relationships remain surface level, unstable, or short lived. I mentioned yesterday, if you want to know why you keep having all these little short relationships, there's no emotional attachment.
Mm.
It's, people are just emotionally unavailable in the relationships. And then sometimes you can just attract the wrong person. When if you that person that you said, damn, man, why I say I'm always attracting the wrong person, the wrong woman, the wrong guy. Hey, and you attract people that are overgivers, people that always want to overgive to you, or fixers. They trying to fix you. They trying to solve it rather than connect with you. They trying to solve your issues, not trying to really connect with you. May also attract other unavailable partners, creating unhealthy cycles. So we have to be mindful of that too. Because if I'm in Lavelle, if I'm in a situation where I've been in multiple relationships, right? And I'm talking about short-lived relationships. And I'm like, why I keep attracting these women, man? I keep attracting these women. At some point, I have to look at what the common denominator is.
Correct.
And what's the common denominator?
Something may be wrong with you.
Hello? What am I doing to attract these wrong people to the relationship?
Right.
You know, and it happens. It happens more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I definitely think that um it's something that, you know, we have to be mindful of when we're trying to be emotionally available for those who we love. You know,
Mm-hmm.
uh your needs go unmet when you have two people in a relationship, any kind of relationship, any kind of ship, and um you are not really being vulnerable, transparent, or it's really your vulnerability makes it really hard for you to express what your true needs and real needs are. You go without support or affection. You know what I'm saying? So because how can I support you, Lavelle, if I don't really know what you truly need?
Right.
And you don't want to share with me because you are afraid to be vulnerable. You don't want to expose your vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be transparent to share with you. Hey, I really need for you to support me in this area. I need you to show me, because you don't want to be vulnerable. So, oh, this person needs that. Uh-huh. No.
Mm-hmm.
Others don't know what you want. We don't know what you want, which
Right.
creates misunderstanding and resentment. 'Cause I'm trying to guess what you want, and then I'm guessing the wrong stuff. Now it creates misunderstanding or either resentment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, conflict becomes harder to solve. Like when there's no real emotional um, value in the relationship, or the emotional aspects of it, if it's very distant, it reduces honest communications. Problems can either build silently or erupt suddenly. You
Mm-hmm.
you be like, man, I was talking to her, man, and man, she went from 0 to 100. And she ain't just go from 0 to 100 without some type of warning. He didn't go from 0 to 100. It was something that was building up, and it's either silently, you know, and or they just tired of the mess, and it just erupts suddenly. You're like, what the hell is wrong with them? And then, but this is what you say. Oh, you didn't show me who you truly are. You just really expose your true self. Nah, I'm just tired of your bullshit.
Plain and period.
I'm just tired of your BS.
Mm-hmm.
Then constructive repair becomes very difficult in that instance.
Mm-hmm.
It's because once you've exploded, erupted on me, it's kind of hard for me to really hear you now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, you done shot your load. So that repair of that in that instance becomes very difficult. Then you got those that really just start to create some self-sabotaging patterns. They just for whatever reason, man, they want to be with people, but they push people away.
Mm-hmm.
Soon as that relationship looks like it's getting too serious, they start to do stuff to push people away because
Mm-hmm.
they don't want they're afraid of being that serious, or they've been hurt before in a serious relationship. So now when things start to look really serious and going good, they start doing stuff to push you away. Those are self-sabotaging patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And you pushing people away, but you want the closest. You want them to be close to you, but
Mm-hmm.
you're afraid of maybe that hurt, you know, because you've been hurt before in a relationship that was serious, and you know, or you just start to choose, unavailable people who already got somebody else. They're unavailable.
Mm-hmm.
Got somebody else, or behaviors, that guarantee disappointment. You're gonna go out here and get this dude that he ain't ish, and you know
Yep.
what he do already. So you soon as you know he do it, it's gonna disappoint you anyway. You can say, "Yeah, I told you so. I knew it. Yeah, I'm moving on." And then you go get the next dude that's just like that. Those are self-sabotaging patterns. And we like you really have to start to do some self inventory and look at like how does this stuff really impact me as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
And if you start really looking at some of these 10 things that's on this list, or how many 10, 12, you will see I bet you see somebody in it that you know or have ran across. I've already seen about 3 or 4 people in this.
Mm-hmm.
Like the self-sabotaging. Oh, I'd have seen like a couple of folk in that.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, but I've seen like that. Emotional intelligence decline. So when you are emotionally unavailable for people for so long, you start to lack in emotional intelligence. It declines.
Mm-hmm.
So now you don't even know how to read other people's emotions. You don't even know how to respond with empathy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so how because that avoidance, when you start to avoid of being emotionally unavailable, that avoidance reduces practice with naming and managing feelings, and that's when that difficulty comes in. And now you're like, man, I can't even read folks or what they feeling, because it starts to decline.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, when we were having this discussion yesterday, Lavelle, I mentioned the fact that a matter of fact, you had actually got on here and said that it's so many different layers
Mm-hmm.
to these topics that we have, and this is one of those that is so many different layers to it. Like you could probably literally spend a month talking about or longer talking about this because of the different layers that this brings. Because emotional intelligence is a whole different layer in this.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole nother topic on its own, emotional intelligence.
I was
And
just yeah.
and when you start to really think about somebody's emotional intelligence declining, what if they don't even possess emotional intelligence?
Mm-hmm.
That has been the topic of a lot of conversations as well, about just emotional intelligence, people having emotional intelligence to be able to deal with people in relationships and understand.
Well, what's so messed up about the whole conversation and topic matter? Because when it comes to being emotional unavailable and emotional intelligence, I think a lot of times when it comes to the gender part of it, the women are more accepted to walk and move in these type of areas. Men, however, uh, you know, now we are called sassy, now we're called sensitive, and we don't want to move in that way. So a lot of times, to 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 be readily available to have these feelings available, they've been suppressed and pressed down so much to the point that is I can't really show that. I can't really my emotions can't be available because I've been told not to share.
So do you think that falls in the area of self-sabotaging too?
No, not really. Uh, Simply because hold on one second, hold on one second.
Monka says if things are really good, they look for something bad to happen or create problems that's not really there. Self-sabotaging.
Right.
And so that's why I think that depending on the nature of how that, like what you just said, I think it could fall under the category of self-sabotage.
It can and then it cannot because they didn't put themselves in that particular predicament. It's because it's like it's something that men kind of inherited, so to speak. Because we like you said, the man supposed to always be hard. I supposed to always be this dude, and I supposed to take everything for everybody. And then he don't know how to I don't even know what word to use to warp into that situation. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they don't even know how to turn it on, and because you know, a lot of women accept it and love that part of me, but you got some these new age individuals, they like, man, come on, man, suck it up, man. Who is you? You being too soft, you being too sensitive. Like,
But that's why Lavelle, I kind of think it does fall under the category of self-sabotage, because I know this. This is
mm-hmm,
something that I'm aware of, that I don't want to do that. I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want
mm-hmm,
to. I don't really necessarily want to share, because but you know that's gonna create an issue. So if that's not, you know that's gonna create an issue, you don't think that's self-sabotaging?
I mean, kind of
That's what I
halfway.
said. I think it can fall
Yeah,
under the category.
yeah,
I don't think it's like boom, like a hard case of self-sabotaging. No, but I think it does kind of fall under there. So
yeah. If you can, it's a choice in the matter. So put it like this. So I
and
guess
that's why I say self-sabotage, because it
yeah,
is a choice whether you divulge or be vulnerable or not, or choose not to be. And if you
yeah.
choose not to be, knowing that it's going to cause issues,
Mhm.
isn't that not self-sabotage?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the only reason I said it. I think
Yeah.
it can fall under there. Or if you just already experienced that in a relationship, it's not really self-sabotage. It's just like, I don't want to be exposed again that way. So
Mhm.
I say I think it can,
Right.
And, chronic sense of isolation.
Wow.
You
That's
know,
what I was
where
talking about.
you, man, when I tell you've been emotionally unavailable, to the point where you you you, you have emotional numbness, bro.
Mhm.
You can be in a room full of people and
Mhm.
still feel like you all alone.
Yep.
And that energy shows,
It does. Yeah.
because people in the
I-
room are looking at you like that person look like they miserable, like they don't even want to be here, like they miserable. And so people won't even approach you,
Mhm.
because who wants that negative energy on them? Who wants that type of energy on them?
Right.
So they tend to avoid you. And
Mhm.
you all in this room, a room full of people that you can be talking to, conversing with, and you just sitting over there that's feeling like you the only person in the room.
Mhm.
The detachment, it increases over time.
Yep.
That emotional numbness or detachment feeling, it will increase. And then now you're depressed because, hey, you just feel like you just going through life, just existing, and not, you don't have any purpose.
And I
So I
think I
can
think
see.
I think technology has played a big part in this too. Technology as pertains to like your phones, social media. You know, people don't even know how to sit down and among each other and have true conversations. That's why you got a lot of people now, a lot of families when they have certain events, they say, hey, we're not having any phones today.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
you saying that that like the cell phone or technology itself has added to the being emotionally unavailable part?
absolutely.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, and I get it. Life is busy. Texting is very, is very, easy to do, but it literally has taken the texture out of communication. It's like, and we
Hmm.
are all guilty. I don't care who you are. We just think, you got people, you text them and have hey, such. They don't even reply.
I remember one time, Bill, we went out, it was a lot of, we went out to eat, and I just happened to look up, and
Mhm.
everybody was like this. Like,
Everybody head down.
and I'm like, what the hell? Like, what are we doing?
I
It's
like. I
like,
think. I think it need to be an event like quarterly, purposely, whether people come, how many people be there, but people need to untap, like saying, like detox
everybody turn your phone, and you get your phone when you leave.
and talk, and
Yeah.
saying, I don't, whatever topic, just that to try to keep that whole situation going because you look around, man,
And
for,
there are people who do stuff like this, Bill. They'll have an event with, hey, no cell phones.
oh yeah,
Either check your cell phone in the door, or leave it in your car. You
right.
know,
I'm
check
talking about purposely. I'm talking about like
yeah,
it,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like they have a thing say you can't bring your phone in, you can't have a phone. Like this event is for you networking, talking to people. Don't leave your phone in the car. If you got to exchange the number afterwards, you go out there and meet at the car and change the number. But while you're in here, you're talking, trying
Like
to
this
get.
one young lady, I get it. You want to be this influencer. Like with me right now. Facebook giving money away, so I kind of like kind of dived into it in the last couple of days. I just been on there going, trying to get this little money. But anyway, uh, this one lady, man, I'm talking about every event she goes to. So much so to certain individuals that I know, like, man, every time she comes somewhere, I go somewhere, she got to go live. You're not even in the moment. What are you doing with that content? Why you just want everybody to know where you at? And then a lot of times, I think we don't even think about the danger of that, because especially if you're a woman and you out by yourself, you literally not giving your location where you at. We don't think about stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, you want everybody to see that you at such and such event. And I'm this.
And don't think people don't be paying attention.
Come on now.
I saw a video with this homeless guy, and he was
Mhm.
in front of these apartments, sitting in a chair, sleeping. This dude woke him up, and he's, and then people was like, well, how can we, did you know who the guy can you find? And this person said, oh, I know those apartments. That's right over here by so-and-so, so-and-so. So people are looking. They know, you know what I'm saying? So they just got your location just off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know intersections. They know, that's close to me. They know that.
I'm talking about as soon as she get into the event ain't even started good, just going live. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
Monica said, this is why you have to protect your mental health.
mhm.
She said, if things are really good, they look for something bad to, I think I read that one. She said, definitely technology is a huge distraction and should not replace bonding time with family.
Yeah.
And you got families that when they sit down at the table for dinner, it's ain't no cell phone. You better leave them cell phones in the room, or they taking all of them at the table.
Mm-hmm.
This is time for us to talk. And I remember, like, when my kids were young, when we actually had a dining room table. I was working a lot in retail, and man, I came home and it was one of those not really rare occasions, but it was one of those less than normal occasions where I got a chance to actually sit down at the table with them and eat dinner. And I just happened that of course, the kids didn't really have the cell phones like that then. Of course, me and Monica had them, but the kids didn't really have them like that. And so we sitting at the table eating, and I just happened to look up and look across the table at my daughter, and now my daughter got boobs. I'm like, what the hell? When did she get them? And I was looking at my wife. She was like, hey, I was like, at that point, I was like, man, I got to be more present, because I'm trying to figure what the time went. But I was so engulfed in going to work, coming home, working,
Yeah.
I wasn't even seeing the growth of my children right before my eyes.
Now I will say, like, with the technology of like FaceTime, it has helped a little bit because you can actually see each other. But when it comes to like
Yeah.
text, email, and stuff like that, it don't
Mhm.
have no emotion behind it. You know what I'm saying? It's a emotional being trying to share an emotional feeling through a text. It's not gonna work.
And it like this morning, we was calling the grandbaby, and well, we was calling, was talking to her mama, and the baby was like, hey, Legacy. She was like, hey, and she said, how you doing this morning? And then she said, it's great seeing you. And I just, bro, my little heart just melted. I was like, oh my God, bro, this is crazy.
Right.
How proper she was, just so proper, just so excited. I'm like, this early in the morning, folk be like, don't even want to speak, and she bouncing off the walls in the morning. And I was like, you gotta FaceTime us more. She said, I thought Keewan do not be FaceTiming us with the baby. You're gonna have to FaceTime us, cause, and she said, now I'm telling y'all, when she called, we like, we cool. We ain't got no problem with her calling FaceTiming us.
Mm-hmm.
So it means the world. Monica said, I'm thinking I'm gonna implement this during date night. Oh, okay.
And this is the way I think about it a lot of times. If I ain't saying that nobody else, it don't matter, if it don't matter to me, period. But if I'm with my family, like, I can literally just go ahead and turn my phone off, because who I'm with at that moment matters. So, they can leave a voicemail, what I'm saying, I get back to the text, because, like I said, those distractions, man, they makes a difference, and I believe they have played a major part in being emotionally unavailable.
And people, well, if there's an emergency, what did you do if there was an emergency back in the day?
Exactly. You said that a long time ago.
You know, emergencies happen. We understand that, but
Mhm.
and if there is an emergency, what can you do right there in that moment?
Nothing. You got to get there. You know what I'm saying? It is what it
You
is.
still got to get there, and
Mhm.
FaceTime. Monk said FaceTime keeps me feeling close to my brother and sis. We talk to each other every day. I mean, they talk every day. They
Good.
FaceTime each other every day. Monk said, I agree, Val. Don't downplay family time.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the increased mental and physical stress of it. So when you start to suppress emotions, it can raise psychological stress. You get anxiety, sleep problems. There's sleep, sleep deprivation kicks in. People are like, I am up. Who up with me? Something is going on.
Yeah.
And the long-term effects can include burnout and psychosomatic symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Well, folk think you off your rockers, man.
Yep.
She acting crazy. Yeah. Man, acting like he done lost it.
Just think about it too, though, Tony. And I think this was by design. When you think about, just the deprivation of the world that we live in as it pertains to family and your relationship and your loved ones, it's like it was almost like they tried to fix it where you couldn't even really be with each other like that because you got to work on your job 10 hours. God forbid if you're trying to go to school, then you going to church, and then you going to then you got some kind of hobby, then you got a business, then unless even if your person that those individuals are involved with each other, I mean with those items, you still not being exclusive to them.
Man, bro. Man, you see. So it's like it's almost like we've been brainwashed.
Yep. Man, right now, man.
There are more millionaires and billionaires who have not went to college or completed college than there are ones who have graduated from college.
Right. That's just like Doc just graduated from college at Full Sail, and he said, "Man, I'm finna come out these trucks. They got a mobile home." He said, "Man, I'm finna step out on faith." He said, "Man, we finna travel the world." So I think they don't been to California. They don't been to they've been to Florida. They've been to Florida. They don't been to about 8 states already. Him and his family. And he said, "We're gonna go until we can't go no more." He said, I'm gonna show my children the world, something that I wasn't able to see when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I don't know. He said, I don't know how we gonna afford it or what's gonna happen. He said, but I'm gonna do it as I go. I was like,
you document it. You create content.
That's what he doing. That's what he doing.
Yeah, you create the content, and then it should be easy for him because he a filmmaker.
Yeah, he got all this stuff. I can't wait.
So creating the content and documenting his family's journey doing that, because there's so many people that's doing it, and I never get tired of seeing it. So that's the good thing about that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can watch a different person's journey doing that every day. I see people, they buy an old school bus and rehab, turn it into a mobile home, and they travel or live in it and travel the world. I seen the girl did a van like that. She like this big van, and she did all the work herself in the van. She went in there and did all the stuff, fixed it up, got her she get out, she travel all over. She a rapper. So she's able to go all these states and meet these rappers in the studios and rap and make videos.
She's from New Orleans. She's from New Orleans.
Yeah. And she bounced all over the place, man, in that little van, and she do her little content. She got, I don't know if she got 1 million followers yet, but I mean, she got a whole lot of followers, and she get up, and then she go to studio, she rap people, because what she did is she banked all her money and she sold all her stuff, took all her money, and that was she used, and she put herself on a budget, but she's still making money off her content and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be done, man. You just, so the long-term effects of this can burn you out or cause psychosomatic symptoms.
The other thing I think about too, bro, you just look around your neighborhood you're gonna be out of the country in a couple of days. But when you come back to Memphis, just pay attention. You don't see children playing outside no more.
No. Well, over here, there's one lady, her kids be out sometimes, but it's not a whole lot.
Man, when we were growing up, man, you saw it was a thing, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's like
you walk out those, it's and the parents wasn't worrying about whether somebody gonna pull up on them and snatch their kid, because it was the kids out there. Then you had a lot of parents sitting out on the porch, just enjoying the kids running back and forth playing with each other.
I think that plays another part, and why they say these YNs now. I think that's another part because they not only emotionally unavailable, they're socially unavailable. They don't even know about it.
Don't care to.
Yeah.
You know, I was somewhere one time and we was in Ohio and one of Monica's friend, her husband was talking about like he just went to the corner store, right? And he went to the corner store and when he walked up to the corner store, he said it was some young dudes and they was talking crazy and stuff. And then he said one of them looked and said, "Oh, that's so and so, uncle."
Mm-hmm.
And dude was like, "Oh, my bad," cause his nephew crazy as hell. Like his nephew shooting up folk, and he was like, they were like, "Oh, that's so and so uncle." Well, some other person in the neighborhood recognized. So they don't even know they in the same neighborhood. Don't recognize. Oh, that's so and so neighbor, man. Oh, my bad, because he already know if I go call my nephew, he gonna come there and shoot the whole store. So he was like, and he said, but I wouldn't even put him in that position. You know what I'm saying? But it was just the idea, like they so crazy with each other, like they'll just pick on people that's randomly walking to the store, and these are your neighbors because they don't know you.
Yep.
And you got people now when they pull up and they see guys are hanging out in front of the store, they just keep going. They like, I ain't going to that store.
Yeah, that's why I admire what Doc Holliday was doing.
Yeah. And I still pull up to the store. I might be scrapped. They might not see, because you can't have your gun out hanging out your pocket out, because they'll do this thing now. They come in behind you while you ain't paying attention, and snatch your gun out your pocket at your waistline.
Yep.
And one of the things about my gun is, way my gun is, my gun is in a holster, it's in a side holster, a hip holster that it tucks down, so you can't just snatch it out easy. Like you gonna have to, and you gonna probably have some problems trying to get that gun off me. I ain't saying it can't happen. I think on any given day, if you get caught slipping, you get caught slipping. But I've seen it a lot of times where they show on video where these guys walk up because they got the thing just hanging out their pocket or hanging out their back pocket or their waistline, where ain't in no holster just in there, and it's easy to just pull out because you ain't got no belt on. So, but unintentionally hurt to loved ones. You start to your partners, friends, children may feel rejected or confused because you're emotionally unavailable. And I think this can really cause issues. That's why I said, this is applicable across all ships, not just the relationships that you in, the dating relationships or marriages or whatever. This is applicable across all ships. So when you have partners, friends, and children, they may start to feel rejected or even confused by the relation. Like, what's really going on? Because this person then emotionally checked out or just not available.
Well, and now going back to this self-sabotage piece, bro, I think too, like, I think at some point you do have people who were emotionally available, and as they say, life be lifing, and you don't communicate, you don't talk, and then you just, it's almost like that little Homer Simpson meme when you bag back into the little the little bushes or whatever. It's like you start bagging back because you feel overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? You got too much stuff on your plate. You're like, man, it's just too much going on. And like, just thinking about it, bro, it's like I got to check where I am right now, because I believe I'm almost, to be totally honest with you, I got to make sure that I don't tap out, dog, because it's like it's been one thing after another. I talked to my sister yesterday, and soon I FaceTimed her, she crying. I'm like, damn, something else? Her job acting crazy. I'm like, okay, what next? You know what I'm saying?
And that's a lot to carry on a person's plate, man, because some people, I mentioned this probably, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago or some over the course of the week, about what the Bible says, that we are to help bear one another burden, bear ye one burdens. And sometimes I think we try to put on the Superman cape, and we try to carry everybody's burdens, and I think in doing so, you burn yourself out, you tap out, you start to go in tap out mode, and then now you can't even be emotionally available for those who you love because you didn't try to play Captain Save 'em for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have to be mindful, be aware of how you're dealing with people and how much energy that I mean, how much life I don't want to say they sucking at you because that sounds like, man, they just that you allow people, but sometimes we get caught up. I know Miss Gwen has this, she put on her cape and she like, and it can burn you out.
Mm-hmm.
So this can create lasting damage and important relationships, man, when you start to unintentionally hurt the ones that you love.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not intentional, it's unintentional. But
Mm-hmm.
because you have reached a point that you're no longer emotionally available, it affects all of the ships in your life.
And a lot of times you don't even really know that it's until stuff start happening. Now you just you lash out or whatever. You really don't even know that you're going through that moment.
Some people don't. Some people are like this, totally oblivious to what's going on until maybe somebody that's close to them and say, "Hey, have you realized that you like you what?" And then they start to recount the things that has happened and dates and time. You're like, "Wow, I am tripping," you know.
Mm-hmm.
But not only that, man, but it blocks personal growth. We talk about this all the time, along with the communication piece of it, that you should be growing personally, and if you're emotionally unavailable, how can you grow personally?
Okay.
You know, your intimacy requires vulnerability, accountability, and change.
Mm.
And if you are emotionally unavailable, where's the intimacy?
Mm.
Where's the accountability, the vulnerability? Where's the change? Avoiding it keeps you stuck in repeated patterns for years.
Wow.
And there are people out here that avoid it at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
I think some people, like when you're talking about emotional and the emotional attachment of attaching themselves emotionally to people and things, because of past hurts, past traumas, some people just can't relinquish that emotion. They're like, I just can't, I can't do that.
Right.
But in having that mindset, what does that ultimately cost you?
Right.
Because now, again, you're isolated. You're keeping yourself away from people, or when you're in rooms full of people, you still feel like I'm the only one in this room. So at what cost? Are you giving up? What are you giving up when you say I'm just gonna avoid all emotional aspects of anybody, any people? I'm just gonna, I don't want to be emotionally involved with people.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's unhealthy. For your own personal growth. It's just unhealthy.
Yeah.
So you can't avoid it. You have to tap into it. But so check this out. Here are some common root causes why people become emotionally unavailable. Early attachment problems, neglect, inconsistent caregiving.
Mm.
I just talked about this one. Trauma from past relationships, abuse, betrayal, abandonment.
Mm.
Fear of vulnerability or losing independence.
Mm.
High value on self-reliance or cultural messages that emotions are weak.
We didn't know, and we talked about that.
Yeah. But learn coping strategy. You talked about this, how some of this stuff is just a learned behavior. You grew up, they told you don't emotionally shutting down to reduce, pain or risk.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why people are or become emotionally just totally unavailable, because these things have affected them in some shape, form, or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Signs you might be emotionally unavailable. So watch for these patterns, because we just mentioned that you might be totally oblivious to the point that you are emotionally unavailable. But
Mm.
here are signs and patterns to watch for. If you have difficulty saying what you feel or need, as of emotionally unavailable. You. If you are avoiding serious conversations, using humor or distractions, frequent short-term relationships or situationships,
You said that.
like that, situationships, pulling away when relationships get serious, reluctance to make plans for future with the partner. So when I hear people say, when I see people that's been together, and I be like, "Oh, when y'all get married?" Especially young folk. Yeah, at that point, I'm like, what's really going on? I ask my nephew this every time I see him because he been dating this little girl. He's been dating this little Hispanic girl, and she been coming around us for man now I don't know 6, 7, 8 years. However long they've been together.
Mm-hmm.
All through while he was in college, all through high school. So what's that? 7, 8? Yeah, about 8, 9 years. And now he's teaching, and and so he come to the house for dinner, whatever. She real. And
Mm-hmm.
she's very lovable. She comes through, she hugs everybody. Hey, speaks and hugs everybody. And I always ask him, when you gonna marry that girl?
Mm-hmm.
He'll just, uh, and they be like, Tony, you got to put Buster Boy. I was like, nah, I want to know. I said, man, you got a good thing, right? Well, I mean, and so I got a plan. I got a plan. I'm like, shit. Well, you need to speed your plan up,
Yeah, time is of the essence.
man. What? Somebody else might step in and speed the plan up for you. But
For real.
difficulty saying what you feel or need, avoid serious conversation, using humor distractions, frequent short-term relationships or situationships, pulling away when relationships get serious, reluctance to make plans for the future with the partner, right? And then emotional numbness, detachment, or preferring.
I don't know. What does it say? Something else I'm kind of wondering. Got to move the bar.
We ain't worried about it.
Okay.
How emotional unavailability harms others. These are some examples of the impact on loved ones when you are emotionally unavailable. Your partners feel rejected, confused, or unimportant.
Hmm.
Friends may stop trying to connect or feel exhausted from one-sided effort. And when you start saying, oh, I ain't got no bunch of friends. I make everybody mess with, they don't mess with me no more. It's the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Children can learn to suppress feelings or develop insecure attachment. Co-workers may misread detachment as disinterest or lack of teamwork.
And bro, what's so crazy? When my sister was talking to me yesterday, she said her manager told her, uh, it just seemed like you're emotionally unavailable or something like. She don't think she used those terms. She just seemed like you. She said like something is bothering you where you can't do your
Dad is
job.
going through an issue she's dealing with, so I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And boss might not get it,
Right.
because boss ain't there
Mm-hmm.
having to listen or go through these issues. So how to become more emotionally connected? Here are some concrete steps that you can take. Start with self-awareness. Track moments you shut down and what triggered it. Name and label feelings. If you got a journal, if you're a person that likes to journalize, I feel
Mm-hmm.
blank when, practice small vulnerabilities, share minor, little stuff or ask for help. Share your minor stuff with people. Don't go to
Mm-hmm.
the gusto and share all the major stuff that happened in your life. Share some minor stuff. Just, get vulnerable a little bit at a time. Do small vulnerabilities. And then use I statements to express needs. Man, look, I need for you to really be more supportive of me in the fact that, hey, I'm trying to go back to school, trying to do this so I can be better prepared, and I need your support, you know. I feel that when, hey, I'm going to work and getting off every day. I feel like, when I come home, you don't talk to me, you don't, set aside regular check-ins with your partner or friend to practice honest sharing.
Mm.
Good stuff, bro. Good stuff.
And what's so crazy, bro? It's like when you think about just some of the people in your circle, or people that was once in your circle, you just don't converse with them no more. It's like it's a lot of damaged goods, doc. It's like me just going through this, listen to this, and I'm like, bro, I'm just thinking of certain individuals, like, man, it's like all, and when you really think about it, too, Tony, I think, and I ain't saying that I hate to be like I'm harboring on the church, but stuff like this be like, why they don't have these type of things like this, what I'm saying, at church. I mean, I get it, the morning service, but people, man, are hurting, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the podcast has become the pulpit.
Yeah. And it's a lot of, and the thing is that, and there are a lot of preachers, pastors that have podcasts that are talking about these things, but you're not talking about these things in the pulpit because um you want this allure of preaching with power and doing all this other stuff, and but I think sometimes stuff like this, or at least it needs to be time allotted to the side where you can have some teaching moments or some, and I'm not look, I'm not condemning all churches. As a matter of fact, I'm not condemning any church. But
Right.
um, when you have churches, because you have a lot of churches out here with a lot of resources
Hmm.
and with a lot of people, and it's easy for, and most of them listen to the pastor. The pastor said we having a conference next week. Them folks, I'm signing up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you have a conference and you can bring in professional people about these to help, people understand uh, being emotionally unavailable, or emotional intelligence, or understanding how 50-50 plays a part in relationships, and the common pitfalls or the common, yeah, just these are things that could be taught at the church. They could be.
Yeah, I just, and I think about it periodically every time we have our segments, and when it's a subject matter that goes deep like this, and it got those layers to it, and I think about certain individuals, ones that I know that come
You
and
lock. You
and
had locked up a
she was
minute.
just she was just about in tears, you know what I'm saying, and I'm like, well, for one, why did she come to me? But anyway, but I'm just saying though, it's so many folk going through so much stuff, and I think we so stuck in the traditional way of doing things that a lot of times folks get missed
Right. Right.
or dismissed.
Yeah. So there are some common pitfalls when trying to change. So you got to be aware of some of these setbacks when you're trying to make these changes to becoming or reconnecting with being emotionally available. Expect an instant change. Growth takes time and slips when happen. So slips will happen. So you
Mm,
can't expect a person to change instant. When you're looking for that emotional availability, don't expect for people to change instantly. It takes time. So, and then some slips will happen. So you have to be cognizant of that.
mhm.
Use cognitive strategies only, thinking without feeling practice. These, you can't do that. You know, relying on a partner to do all the emotional work. Don't do that. Don't put it
Mm.
all on one person,
Right.
because that person will be burnt out, and now that's a whole nother issue, whole nother area. Mistaking sympathy for progress.
Mm.
True connection needs consistent practice.
Wow.
True connection needs consistent practice, right? And so here are some key takeaways. Emotionally, emotional unavailability hurts relationships, health, and growth. It usually has roots in past experiences or learned coping strategies. A change is possible with steady practice, self-awareness, and support. And then, sometimes just practice, having these conversations, you know, just working through certain scenarios just to kind of understand the emotional availability aspects of a relationship. So I think, and I'm not, that's something we don't have to get into,
Right.
but I think that this is a necessary, another one of these topics is very necessary because uh in the current climate, uh the um in the current climate, people are there are a couple of things going on. People are kind of down because they don't want to deal with things that are going on, and then other people are like over the top with it. And it's like ain't no in the middle, so, and I think like if you're disconnecting from it, just saying, I don't, man, look, I'm so that now you're uh detaching yourself emotionally from it. Or if you're over emotionally about the current climate, things going on, this president, this going, so there's so I think understanding this now, really understanding this now is very important and essential.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Monica said, man, acknowledging triggers, but not allowing triggers to make you emotionally unavailable. Geesh, steady practice and self-awareness. Yeah.
Hmm.
Man, let's clock that tea with our girl, Queen Walker.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know what time it is. Put them phones down, fingers up. It's time to clock that tea with your girl, Queen Watkins. I hope y'all are having an amazing morning. But y'all know what time it is. It's time to clock that tea. Y'all, imagine finding out your wife now is cheating on you. Not only is she cheating on you, imagine finding out that your kids aren't yours. Yeah, let's talk about it. So there's a guy in Detroit, 37 years old. He was married with 3 kids with his wife, right? So I guess everything was going good until they weren't going good. And he questioned one of their children. So he ended up finding out that one of the kids wasn't his. They had 3 kids together and they had those children within the time frame that they were together, all 3 of those kids, right? So he ended up finding out that one of the kids wasn't his. Not only one, he found out two wasn't his kid. And at this point, I would have tested the third one too. And he found out that all 3 kids was not his children. Okay. Put the icing on the cake, y'all. Old girl was messing with somebody that was in the family. So that may be why he may have didn't say too much about the kids not looking like him. I don't know. It didn't say what made him just go get his kids tested. But I mean, if you all in the family with your nasty ass, then maybe all of them probably did look alike. So look like the other relative probably looked like the dad. So that's why the kids probably look like the dad, right? So anyhow, old boy went up to his wife job to confront her. The wife seen husband come and try to hide in her friend's car. Husband said, "Pew, pew, pew," multiple times, right? While wifey was shot, she was trying to run away. And husband was like, "Nah, baby, you ain't getting away that easy." So he ended up pistol whipping her. I am not a violent person at all. Sometimes, maybe, depending on the situation. But a lot of people are saying it's justified what he did. Of course, you aren't supposed to put your hands on no woman. You aren't supposed to be, pew pewing nobody. Of course, you aren't supposed to do that because that girl could have lost her life and she still had 3 kids. Man, he should have called his sister, cousin, another relative to tear her ass up or something for real. Because some it wasn't only one child, it was all 3. Girl, you
Dang.
just set up and played in that man's face for that long. She is not deceased. She's alive. She made it through him pew pewing her and beating her. So he probably wasn't intentionally trying to unalive her and stuff like that. It was like his emotions probably just went crazy, which is understandable. Okay, not AI. He's not a robot. So his emotions got the best of him, which we got to learn how to control our emotions, right? But baby girl, you had to get touched somehow, somewhere. Something. You think you get away with scot free doing some mess like that? That is messed up. You could at least told that man after baby number one. Even after baby 2.5. Shit, when I say 2.5, I mean if he was there for the pregnancy part, right? Just let him know. I guess when the baby, I don't know, sweetheart, you should have never been doing it. No way. You should have told old boy he's sitting there supporting you and those children. And from the pictures, y'all look like y'all was cool. Y'all look like y'all was happy. Y'all had 3 kids together.
Allegedly.
So apparently, what are you doing? Cause you had some type of plot or something that you was trying to keep up with. Cause ain't no way you should have never told that man. So some of the internet is saying it's justified, and some isn't. What y'all think? All right, y'all. That's all the tea that I have today. Make sure y'all tune in to 2 Men in Hats Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. sharp. And don't forget to stay tuned for your girl Queen Watkins. Clock that tea. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.
Man, she couldn't. It's amazing. It's amazing how that stuff come together. And she didn't even saw the stuff.
That's crazy, bro.
You know he was emotionally unavailable after that.
Shit, in that moment, absolutely. you find out that none of your children are yours. How you play. Okay, that's another. Yeah, I don't even know how you play with somebody like that. Anyway, that's a story for another whole day. That's another layer. Another layer in the continuing saga.
Right.
Man, we got to get out of here. Come on, pray us out, brother.
Man, crazy. I'm gonna go back and cause I don't normally do that, but I'm gonna go back through this slide, bro. Like and use it as a guide and a tool because I think this here is a very vital piece. When you really think about just your spiritual, mental, and everything that's been going on, and like you say, the way the world is right now, we got to do some personal inventory. So, hey, you gotta do some self awareness of your own self. So, all right, praying. Let's pray. God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this time. We thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for life. Thank you for just giving us what you have blessed us with. Things ain't all what we would want them to be, but thank that they not what they could be. Thank you for our families. Thank you for our loved ones. Thank you for Tony family, my family, Queen family. Just thank you for everybody that you have blessed us with. And Lord God, continue to touch our opportunities to become better individuals than we were on yesterday. And we actually do all these things in our Son Jesus' name, and we say it, amen.
Amen, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bad time.
Same bad place.
2 Men in Hats. Let's talk about it.
It's the 2 Minute Hats podcast with your host with the most, Tony and Lavelle, every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock That He. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Minute Hats podcast.